Okay, so I got a pretty interesting, sticky situation here. I'm not sure exactly whether or not this is the most clean-cut case of self-defense or whether or not it might be a little bit more murky than that. The facts are pretty murky. I, based off of the story from the man, um, had this happen to me, I could see where a self-defense claim could be coming from. There's maybe definitely at least one step I probably wouldn't, two steps I wouldn't have done in the same manner that this person did, but I can understand where the escalation started. So this is Florida, Miami Herald stating fatal shooting at Walgreens in Boward started with a dispute between two armed men. This here was posted on February 4th. Miramar police arrest a man who say shot and killed another man during an argument at Walgreens drugstore Monday morning, February 3rd. The man said he pulled the trigger in self-defense. A deadly shooting at the Walgreens in Boward on Monday morning began with an argument between a man accused of pulling the trigger and another man who angrily approached him over either a perceived slight or for looking at as a girlfriend, according to police. Now, I've seen videos out there where a person's just minding his own business and he either notices somebody walking in, possibly a lady, and another man starts immediately a 0 to 100. Hey, you better stop. And I could see where situations like this would definitely escalate into where that boyfriend definitely triggered a situation where the third party felt aggressed upon. So let's kind of dive in there and learn a little bit more what happened. What can be agreed upon based off the witnesses who spoke to the police and the store security camera footage is that Jamie Leonard Taylor, this is our shooter, 28, who was standing in the Walgreens cash register while talking on the phone, shot Anthony Souvenir inside the drugstore located in Miramar. All three witnesses told police that minutes before the shooting, Souvenir angrily confronted Taylor, who had been assisted by the cashier and was on the phone with his cousin, according to the Miramar Police Incident Report. Per the store's security camera footage, Souvenir's girlfriend, whose name is redacted from the report, walked inside holding her baby and passed Taylor at 11:24. About 20 seconds later, Souvenir could be seen walking into the store past Taylor. Then, Taylor is seen pulling out a handgun, which seems like a pretty big red flag there, from his waistband and pointing it at Souvenir's direction, the report states. Souvenir is then seen in the footage standing in front of Taylor, who took 2 steps toward him and fired his gun before running out the store. According to the report, Souvenir ran after him holding the gun and collapsed on the ground, holding a gun and collapsed on the ground right outside the exit of the store. The video shows, according to the report, the paramedic took him to Memorial Regional Hospital, where he was pronounced dead at 11:54, so within the hour. Police said Monday was his 27th birthday. So this man's going to Walgreens on his 27th birthday, and unfortunately, he does not see much past the exit of that Walmart. His father told the Miami Herald that news partners in CBS Miami that that day he began with his family singing happy birthday and celebrating him. Souvenir's girlfriend said, who said Souvenir is the father of her baby, the one she was seen carrying in earlier, told police she went to Walgreens to buy dish soap. So they were there on just a mundane trip as well, similar to the guy at the cash register getting some funds transferred. According to the report, from her understanding, it appeared as though the boyfriend thought Taylor said something to him, but was actually on the phone with someone else. So this is a situation, at least from the girlfriend's perspective, where a man's sitting at a cash register on the phone, and her boyfriend seems to have misunderstood what was being said over the phone as if it was being said to him. Now, of course, we hear a little bit more from Taylor as well, but let's continue. She said that she heard Taylor say, "I'm not even expletive talking to you. I'm on the expletive phone," according to the report. She said Souvenir then approached him and she tried de-escalating this situation. As the confrontation continued, she said Taylor continued on. Souvenir said, "Oh, don't do it, bro. I'm not on that type of time." I mean, really, whatever that means. It's more of like a, "Hey, don't come at me. I don't want any of this." But it's an interesting way to phrase it. The woman said Taylor then pulled out his gun and began shooting, according to the report. The Walgreens manager, the person directly in front of Taylor, who had been waiting on Taylor and helping him with a money transfer to a Cash App, told police that it looked like Souvenir thought Taylor was speaking to him when he was actually speaking on the phone. I mean, I could imagine maybe he was wearing like a earpiece. People always think I'm talking to him when I'm talking on the phone using an earpiece, but still, it requires a little bit of situational awareness to go, is this guy talking to me? Does this even pertain, what he's saying, does it even pertain to my life? The victim walked away, but then returned and appeared to be the aggressor. So Souvenir, it seems like he walked away after the misunderstanding on the phone and then decided to circle back in an aggressive manner. The police stated in the report, based on the interview with the manager, Taylor returned to the Walgreens after driving to his friend's house while the police were investigating the shooting. He told police he shot Souvenir, but he said he did it because he thought Souvenir was going to shoot him, according to the report. At the Miramar Police Station, Taylor agreed to speak with officers without his attorney. I mean, personally, kind of a bad move, but, a lot of people end up doing this. Always try to get legal representation. He told the officer that the incident began after Souvenir's girlfriend walked past him. Taylor told police that Souvenir thought he was checking the woman out and that he said, "You're looking too hard," the reports revealed. So it appears that Taylor is saying that Souvenir was like, "Hey, you're looking at my girlfriend too hard. You're looking too hard," which, like, if you are situationally aware, somebody that carries a gun, typically you're looking at every single person that walks by you. It doesn't matter if it's, a quick glance, you're just making sure you cataloged that person and you're being situationally aware. Of course, he could have been looking in an untoward manner, but is he doing something? He's on the phone in front of a cashier. He walked away, but then returned saying, it's the energy, Taylor told police. So this is when he came back. He already confronted, Taylor saying he already got confronted by this man saying, "Hey, you're looking at his girlfriend too hard." And then when he walked away, he decided to come back saying, "Hey, there's just something off about this energy." And it's like, we're at a Walgreens and standing at a register. I don't see, I guess there could be energy, but unless he's like trying to talk to the woman, that's kind of an interesting conclusion to reach. Taylor, who was carrying a Glock 40 caliber handgun in a holster that he said was visible, and that's one of the points that I'm just like, not necessarily the way I would do it. Open carry always does bring its own set of risks. Like there was a kid at a gas station the other day who had his open carry actually taken from him, and then, like trying to catch a falling knife, decided to go get it back and unfortunately didn't make it. So open carrying always has its own risks, and it seems like he noticed Souvenir looking at the weapon. He told police in the report. He told the police that Souvenir then said to him, "I see you got one. I got one too." So Souvenir now went from talking about his woman, because it has to be some issue with him looking at his lady, maybe untoward, to, "Hey, now we're talking about our firearms." Taylor said that's when he pulled the gun out and pointed it out the side. So he has now escalated from, this man's coming up and getting in my grill, in my face, which, in my opinion, if you're open carrying, is close enough to be able to grab, to he's now pulled it out and he's at low ready, which is an interesting choice. And I think that might be where the self-defense claims at least hit their hardest point of contention here. But we'll see where that goes. But anyways, he did point it at the side. And then he said that's when Souvenir reached into his backpack, which, if you know about shooting from concealed in a backpack, you can totally land clean shots through fabric in a backpack on a target. So at this point, his hand has now disappeared into a backpack, and he's already stated that he also has a gun. And he saw the imprint of a handgun pressed against the backpack fabric, and that is when Taylor told police he fired at Souvenir's backpack and then ran away. So police, however, wrote that the report of the shooting was not in self-defense because he did not make an attempt to withdraw himself from the situation. Rather, he pulled his firearm out and took steps forward. Now, this is where it's like, I mean, your Souvenir was theoretically coming in from the entrance, and this man, Taylor, he's trying to, if he's to flee, he needs to flee towards the entrance, right? So theoretically, Souvenir's in between him, so he does need to make an advance. And at what point are you able to stand your ground? Now, this is Miami. I don't know what their laws are about stand your ground inside of a business. But I would be hard-pressed to think that I need to run in a situation where somebody is aggressing upon me for something as simple as possibly lingering on his girlfriend for too long, when you could just be cataloging people as they come in through the entrance. Who knows? Maybe he was lingering too long. Also, doesn't necessarily seem like looking at someone for a second or two longer. I mean, it was just 20 seconds in between each of the members of the Souvenir clan coming in. So is that really that long enough to warrant running up to somebody and getting aggressively in their face and talking about how you're looking too long and stuff like this, and then glance at and mention that you have a firearm as well? I mean, to me, that sounds like a little bit of a stretch on Souvenir's part. So part of me gets where Taylor's like, hey, he's in between me and the door. So he retrieves his firearm, though I'm not sure if retrieving your firearm was necessarily a super smart idea. So as of Tuesday, Taylor is being held with bond and set for the Broward County Jail to charge with non-premeditated murder. So it does look like he's currently being charged. And that's where I'm like, I'm not sure if this is the cleanest cut case of self-defense. He is getting charged, but at the same time, Mr. Souvenir is literally just kind of walking up to this guy and getting in his grill about looking at a woman, and then looks and comments on your firearm. I mean, in some ways, I could see where that could be slightly threatening, especially if you're talking somebody running up and yelling in your face, especially when you're just on the phone dealing with a completely similar situation and not really thinking about whether or not this man's going to get upset at you for noticing a woman walk into a store. What are your guys' thoughts? Do you think this is pretty clear self-defense? Do you think this is too murky to tell? Let me know what your thoughts are. It is definitely a case of the violence of this world happening around us, and the fact that at any moment your life can change or be put into a violent situation where you might have to take action against somebody. But this one here, it doesn't seem as clear-cut as maybe some of the other ones that we've covered here. But I did think it was worth note of bringing up of this man's just at Walgreens trying to get some money transferred, and all of a sudden now he's involved in a shooting because someone was aggressing upon him about just possibly looking at a girl. Like, that just, to me, that sounds ridiculous. Anyway, get down in those comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you found value with this, if you could hit that like button, it would help me out a lot. If you want to hear more stories like this related to the Second Amendment and self-defense and the violent world happening around us, subscribe to Armed Culture. My name's Steven, and I look forward to bringing you many more. Talk to you soon.